Judge Baguma had set today, Monday at 11 a.m. for the preliminary hearing, a last set occurrence before the main trial commences. He entered a packed courtroom with lawyers, members of the public, and journalists at 11:25 a.m. in the morning. The accused persons were not in court when the judge demanded an explanation from the prison authorities. Upon calling, the prosecution team was informed that they were still on the way bringing him. At about midday, Dr. Besigye, Obeid Lutale and Captain Ola arrived under tight security. During the preliminary hearing, the defense raised several concerns: the alleged restrictions by Luzira prison authorities on access to their clients with gadgets. Lawyers urged they had previously been denied entry with gadgets which are needed to review critical evidence supplied by the prosecution team. When questioned by court, prison officials presented a letter indicating that the requested access had since been granted.
I don't have a reply. We have the reply. I don't see how we have submitted the registry. We have our security.
However, the defense maintains that the Luzira communication lacks clarity and seeks guarantees on whether the facilities they need will be fully granted, which include coming in with phones, laptops, forensic experts, IT personnel, and stable internet access whenever they meet their clients.
Unless and until Dr. Besigye is allowed to access his lawyers without any legal fetter or these administrative fetters, unless and until the application for bail is heard and disposed of, unless and until the application against him holds for enforcement of rights and those canons are disposed of, there's not going to be any trial. We want to assure Mr. Baguma he's not going to proceed with the trial on Thursday unless and until these matters are handled. Which matters are a command of the law. These preliminary issues touching the right to a fair hearing, preliminary issues touching the due process.
And we are simply or humbly submitting that if the defense has matters that they believe they want to agree upon, it is them to raise them. And it does not mean that when you raise agreed facts from the defense, it does not mean that they will be agreed upon. The mere reason why the prosecution intends to call witnesses to prove each of the ingredients of their case. So it does not mean that if the defense comes up with agreed facts, it is a do or die or a must have that they will be agreed upon by the prosecution. So from the side of the prosecution, we reiterate, we do not have an agreed facts.
Today, court selected 3 court assessors, who include Musana John, Babirye and Okello Richard, with Judge Baguma directing their particulars be availed to the defense before they take oath on Thursday.
You all witnessed what transpired today. The matter was coming up for preliminary hearing. And the preliminary hearing is a command of the law under the TIA, the Trial and Indictment Act. It's a command of the law. It's a command of the Constitution. And we raised these 80 pertinent issues which have got a bearing on the right to fair hearing for the due process. Unfortunately, he glossed over those issues. He never actually made a ruling on a number of them. He just glossed over them and then said, we have closed with the issue of preliminary hearing. Now the state should produce their first witness on Thursday.
The defense team requested time with the accused before every court session begins, which the Judge Baguma allowed. The defense has demanded a stay of proceedings pending determination of the 5th bail request tendered in and other human rights enforcement applications. They demand that they first be heard. However, Judge Baguma declined. Amid continued objections from the defense team, the judge directed that the first witness be presented on Thursday, June 11th, when the assessors will also take oath.
Coming to Justice Baguma all through, it's been a battle for due process, fair trial. And unfortunately, Justice Baguma today has pronounced unceremoniously that everything is done with a fair trial, with a due process now that is set for hearing on 11th. What a tragedy. What a travesty.
Crispus Arinitwe reporting for UBC.